Hello and welcome to Relive the Magic. I'm Dan Moriarty. Now on this show, you out there and we sitting here are going to relive the magic of some special games that happened in the Stanley Cup Finals history. Today's show, Game 5, Montreal Forum, 1993 Montreal Canadiens taking on the LA Kings. Now the guy to my far right over here, you know him. Number 11, assistant captain Kirk Muller. I know he looks a little older now, but he has aged extremely well.
Put on a couple pounds.
Yeah, just a couple.
A couple.
Have you seen this game since you played in it? I mean, you were such a big part of it.
Well, I mean, it was obviously a great time, but honestly, I've never sat down again and watched it. So look forward to spending some time and recapping the great memories of '93.
But they start to come back right now as you think about it, don't they?
Yeah. More so the guys on the team, and the stories and that. But it'd be fun to look back and watch the game.
And also next to me is Jeff Kovacs. I know, he wasn't on the roster. We're not sure why he's here. Why are you here, Jeff?
I was fortunate enough to be selected after winning a contest on the NHL website. Putting an essay together where I was that evening. As a matter of fact, I was there at the game.
You were in the Forum?
I was at the Forum, and it was a date with my mom. It was the first time I ever went to see a hockey game with my mom.
How old were you?
We won't get into that. I was 18.
So you're here with your mom.
I was there with my mom, and they won the cup, and it was just an incredible moment. Yeah, a lot of memories.
I'm sure it's a date your mom will never let you forget.
She still doesn't let me live it down, no.
Well, it's time now for you and us to relive the magic. There it is, buddy. What are you thinking?
I'd say.
I mean, you were there. You're out there.
It's funny, you know what? You were nervous all day. You're nervous in the dressing room, warm up during the anthem. But I remember, once the game starts and the puck's dropped, you're fine. That's what you're waiting for. But everything leading up to it, the butterflies are roaring right now.
It's your 8th year in the NHL. Your first shot at the cup. Are you thinking to yourself, we could clinch it tonight in the Forum? This may never happen again? Or are you thinking, I'm still young, it's my career, it's going to happen again, I'll be here?
Well, it wasn't like we had a dynasty-type team there. So you know what? It was more like we all said, hey, this is our moment. Things are clicking right from the start. The first series against Quebec. And sometimes you get that feeling as an athlete, like this is your moment, this is your time, and we're one game away. But when you're playing against a guy like Gretzky, you're never sure about anything. So we never talked about the cup ending. We just wanted to win that hockey game. So we had nothing planned, anything, but we did know that, let's put everything into it right now because you never know when you're going to be back there.
Jeff, I mean, you're in the stands. This place, we can hear it now, but it must have been deafening.
It was energetic. You couldn't hear yourself. I still remember as if it was yesterday, now that I'm watching it. I mean, everyone in that place had just energy going through them. It was so loud, and the Montreal Forum was a great place to watch a hockey game to begin with. But now, I mean, Gretzky's in the game, and they have an opportunity to win the cup at home. And been I think it was 7 or 8 years since they had last won the cup, and it was just an incredible game. People in the stands, there were stars from LA, and the whole week leading up to that last game, it was just the papers and the radio and the television, everything was about, the Stanley Cup Finals finally coming back to Montreal.
And you look at the guys you're playing against, forget Barry, obviously. You got to love Barry Melrose.
I said, we had the hockey hairdos going, but we didn't quite get to that level. So that actually was going to become a team fine.
The city of Montreal wouldn't allow it?
I think the team and organization wouldn't allow it.
I mean, right away, Gretzky to Granato in front, and Patrick stones him. Early on, did you have a feeling that Patrick is on his game, like he's been on his game since the beginning? He
was obviously amazing, and you know what? We had gone through so many overtimes in these playoffs that our confidence level in Patrick with the team was so high. And, coming back here to Montreal, we actually felt really confident. And we knew that Patrick was going to do his job. We just had to play a solid game, use the momentum that we took away from LA in LA, and kind of come out hard.
I noticed early in this game also Mike Keane. was buzzing. He was all over the place. Anything that moved, anything that was breathing, he was smacking it, hitting it, whatever. What is it about Keener? Because, I mean, the guy has since gone on to greatness with every team he plays with. He's that kind of role player that everyone seems to need.
Probably the best teammate I ever played with. I mean, he's the guy that's there for anybody for any
Wait,
reason.
in 19 years, the best you've ever played with?
I think he's the epitome of the great teammate. I mean, if you're injured, he's the first guy to call. You know, you're on the ice, you're getting in trouble, Keener's by your side. Or, you know, a supporter of anybody that wants to win and compete. Keener is awesome, and for a guy that, you know, he wasn't a first-round draft pick or anything. He earned his stripes by competing and working hard, and we're great friends today. But he was just a great guy to be a part of in this, and that's what this team is really made up of. Is I think we were better than we got credit for because, you know, we put a couple of good years together, but it was guys like Keener and Carbo and that really made up this type of chemistry of a hockey team.
And now, Jeff, obviously as a player, Kirk can go out there with the guys and he can play the game and get his anxiety out and all. You're 18 years old. Forget that you're with your mom right now, so you can't hold her hand like a date. But what do you guys? What's the crowd? What's a crowd feeling? What's a young guy like yourself feeling because you can't get out there and hit somebody? You can't take a shot.
Every time there was an opportunity for one of the Habs to take someone out or take a shot, or I mean, when you're standing up, you know, in the stands and you're watching these guys play, it doesn't look as fast as it is, you know, when you're down there. And it's easy to point out, pass the puck here or shoot it there, but the guys in the stands, everyone, I still remember how energetic everyone was just in regards to, you know, their voices. Everyone was yelling at the players, shoot it, pass it, and it didn't matter if the stands were filled to capacity or if there were only 100 people in that place that night. Everyone was just going crazy. It was so loud. Since '93 in this game here in the Forum, it hasn't had the same mystique, not the same energy.
Something about that crest?
Well, it's you really see the tradition here, and I think it's carried over by the way these guys had success and how they been treated in the past. And you know, when we played here, the one thing I noticed playing in Montreal was the alumni guys, how much they were behind us and how much they supported us. And you know, so when we threw that jersey on and walked out, and especially playing in the old Forum, you know, you just felt like you had a one-goal edge on everybody starting the game. So it was, you really felt that advantage, you know, playing here. And you know, I think that confidence level, especially in the playoffs, we carried it out. And there definitely is a lot of pride in the city with the CH and coming and playing here. I think we all, you know, felt that we were a part of it.
We'll be right back with more Relive the Magic. First period, no score, Game 5, Montreal Forum 1993. The action is end to end. A lot of hitting in this first period. You just were all over them.
Well, we knew that LA had great speed, and they were, you know, obviously a Western team that liked to open things up, and they were trying to, you know, get that first goal on us so that we had to open our game up, which would have been playing in their hands. So although we had the momentum coming from LA, we wanted to make sure that we kind of went after them, and we were hoping to score the first goal.
Momentum? 2 overtime goals, momentum.
Yeah, Johnny Leclerc, thanks.
Really?
But I remember after Game 4, we won. It's 3-1 for us, and we were sitting in the hot tub back at the hotel before we flew back to Montreal, and we were sitting there, and someone said, "Hey, we're 1 game away from winning it," and someone said, "Hush, we're not even talking about the cup. This thing's still not over." So even though we went back confident, like I said earlier, we knew that Wayne, we always felt like he was just about to break out again. We had
like he did against Toronto.
Yeah, and I remember saying to one reporter, "Listen, whatever you do, please, I owe you the rest of my life. Do me one favor. Don't say anything about Wayne not getting a couple goals in these last couple of games, because whatever you do to trigger him, he's going to excel. So just keep it quiet and let us just play this thing out."
They said a shout out Johnny Leclerc up there, and I just think of what he accomplished. Him with the 2 overtime goals in LA, but you guys in general, When you went on the ice in overtime, you must have thought, we're not going to lose, because 10 in a row, it's unprecedented.
We never really thought of the overtimes. After we got into a roll, we never really thought like this is our 10th win in a row. We just kind of said, here we go, guys. It's not overtime. It's the fourth period. Let's just play it the same way and just keep on rolling. And it was interesting because we had the confidence, but we weren't really changing our game at all into the overtime. We were really relaxed. And we said, Pat, you do your thing. You stop the pucks, and we'll eventually get a goal somewhere. So it was a real, nice little role that we had in that playoffs.
And Jeff, your good friend Matthew Schneider did a bad thing in the first period. Now, tell me how you know Matthew Schneider, first of all, and what he said to you about that penalty afterwards.
Well, Matthew and I became friends through family acquaintances. And I remember him really being upset after the game, or a couple of days after.
I was going to say, he came in said after the game.
No, it was a couple of days after, and I ragged on him a little bit about having the first penalty in the game. And he said I was a bad call, but I think
Aren't they all?
they're always a bad call. I don't think he was too concerned about it afterwards when he knew he was going to be getting that ring on his finger a couple of months later.
It's funny. He wins the Stanley Cup, and he still complains about a bad call. Now, Kirk, come up here. There's an important part of this power play by LA. You're going to go down to block a shot from Zhitnik. What are you thinking? Come on, because we all know that you were hurt at the time.
Wow, you know what? I think I learned a lot from Carbo, watching him do a lot of these blocked shots. But hey, when you're in these situations, it's like anyone. You like we spoke earlier. You throw everything on the line because this is your moment, and that's everybody on that club did. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had success. But we did whatever we could. Even though if I didn't block it, Patrick probably would have stopped it anyway. So, but we always had a thing that we would go down as forwards up there to block shots. So Patrick knew anything that had to get over us had to go high. So in theory, we had a little bit of a system going that we would take the low shots away from blocking. So anything that had to go high, Patrick took care of the top part of the net.
It was well documented, of course, that you were beat up going into this game, going into a lot of these games. You had gone through a number of injuries. When you get to this point, however, does adrenaline just completely take over and you don't feel the pain until the game's over?
Well, it was, it actually happened the very first game of the first series.
Against Quebec.
Against Quebec, I tore my collarbone out. So it's amazing the stuff that guys go through. I mean, there's many players that were injured during these games, but I tore my collarbone, and with the little help of a little ice and
Ice and aspirin always help.
It always helps. So you know what? It wasn't until about the day after this was all wrapped up that I sat back and I go, my body took a toll through these playoffs.
For fans who look at the Stanley Cup, that's something that they should all keep in mind, that we see the names in the cup. We don't see everything else behind that name. The broken legs, the fractures, the broken fingers, and whatever you did to your shoulder.
It really is amazing how during a regular season you got 2 or 3 guys in a trainer's room after games and a little bit of ice and all that. Playoffs hit, and as you go through, you've basically gone from 2 or 3 guys on average to probably 15, 16 guys. Your body, the wear and tear, and the fact that you just can't recuperate and get caught up. It's everyone's in the room after, but the commitment and the stuff you see and what the guys put their bodies through is I think that's why it's so rewarding after to say, you know what, we won it, because it really is a tough toll to win the Stanley Cup.
Now see, Jeff, you and I have played hockey, play hockey. We have no idea what he's talking about.
No, I've never broken anything or cut anything. I'm kidding. I've had my share of injuries too.
But you go back out and play with a torn shoulder.
No, once the stitches go in, I'm out for the night. But I mean, watching these guys from the stands, and you see how much they take. It's one thing to see it from the stands perspective, but when you hear it from Kirk himself and how much of a toll it takes on his body every game, I mean, it's really remarkable to win the cup after going through 4 series and going through all of those games in every period and every shift?
Who it's really tough on is I think my 4 daughters at home, because their little injuries, they don't get much sympathy. I hate to say it, but the poor girls, it's like I'm sorry, but it's really not that bad.
How about Gretz out there? You're talking about him. You always think he's gonna break out and do something, but also he's the only guy who could do it. That shiny stick that he had.
Yeah, I mean.
Remember when he brought that thing out?
Yeah, only he could use that stick. The rest of us would be. We
Still
just
using
looked
wood.
Like, we looked like we stuck out like a sore thumb. I mean, Wayne could do anything. I mean, he was going into LA at the time. I mean, we'd go down there in the old days and go into LA and play the game, and they always supported the team. But when we went to LA during this playoffs, and the celebrities that came out, and going through those parts of the LA that never really followed hockey, It was all Kings. And that guy had a lot of pressure on him going down there when he left Edmonton, and obviously he came through and really put LA on the map again in the hockey world. So he was just always feared by us. We could never let him know that, but we're like, okay, we just got to continue to contain this guy. And I couldn't stress it enough, because we watched him play Toronto, and we watched how he dominated that final game. And Toronto had a great team, and Gilmore was playing unbelievable. But that one guy that can make a difference is Wayne, and we just always had that in the back of our mind.
Oh, Muller, what happened to that? Wait a minute, you were alone in front of the net.
You got a lot of wood on that one.
Yeah, you know what?
Kirk,
That was that shoulder was starting to get sore again.
Good excuse. Hey, coach, bad shoulder.
My theory was if I get 10 shots on net, I should score 1.
I think he had 10 shots in this game.
He scored the important one, though.
Oh, Keeney with that little. I think he got a little high on the guy, huh?
Level in there.
We're those penalties though we can kill. We're trying to kill anyway. It's Keener had the energy and he was playing physical, so you know what, we can live with that kind of stuff.
Once again, I mean, he's a guy that you guys seem to feed off of him. A lot of the guys because of the way he plays the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, he kind of epitomized what we're trying to do. Is he was a great defensive player, but he also chipped in offensively. So everyone basically on this team, our role was that we all chip in, but everyone had to know how to play defense. And I think collectively that's what made us a strong team.
There you are. There you are blocking this.
that
I had to bring
shot.
this up again. I mean, look at this.
So really,
Unbelievable. Off of a Rod Blake shot, too.
What are you thinking?
Nothing. But again, we did it all year long, and so really it was sort of like we go down, and Patrick knows that everything has to go up. So it's kind of a work hand in hand on it.
The whole place is going crazy.
Well, we're feeling pretty good right now. I mean, we've had 2 penalties we had to kill, and fortunately we were able to kill them. So now we're like, you always know as a player, okay, the time's got to come where they got to start giving them some penalties. So we're like, we did our job. Let's stick with it. Now, hopefully, we get our power play going.
We'll be right back with more from 1993, Game 5, Montreal Forum on Relive the Magic. Welcome back to Relive the Magic. First period still going 0-0. I think that's a trip.
Matthew. Yeah.
Yeah, in the playoffs, you don't know how much you can get away with, and you try to get obviously the edge all the time. But fortunately, he got caught. There's a payback time right there. We've had a couple penalties, and now it always tries to even up.
See, Matty Schneider drew the penalty.
Yeah.
See, so you gotta, when you see him
You don't know how much you can get away with, and you try to get, obviously, the edge all the time, but fortunately he got caught. There's a payback time right there. We've had a couple penalties, and now it always tries to even up.
See, Matty Schneider drew the penalty.
Yeah.
See, so you gotta, when you see him next, say, you know what? I just saw a 93. You got even on that one.
Yeah.
Quit complaining about the one call that went against you, Matty.
Well, there's a good case there where their penalty killers even go after us offensively. So they were a real offensive-minded team. So you always got to be aware of that. No matter you're killing penalties, power play, 5-on-5. So
Going back to the game one when they won 4-1 in Montreal. Obviously, you guys were down 2-0 to Quebec in the first round. It wasn't like you didn't know how to come back from any kind of adversity. But losing the first one at home in the Stanley Cup Finals, different mindset.
you know what? We're actually okay. We had a long layoff, and we were well rested. So we were like, you know what? We're not so concerned about losing the game one. We were just saying that we knew we could play better, and game two was our key, because every game, that we had a big break, we struggled with the first game back. So we were okay with it actually. But we had that game two we had to win. We couldn't go to LA down 2-0.
All right.
But we're more like.
Game two, though, that was one of the more, bigger moments in Stanley Cup history. The stick.
Yeah.
I mean, did that stick literally turn the tide for the whole series? In your opinion?
Well, it obviously, because of what happened in Eric scoring and all that, did make a big difference. We'll never know, but I still think that what probably could have been created is it would have just been a longer series. I think we were a young team. We were fresh. We had the legs. LA did way more traveling we did. They had game sevens, and I still think even though if we had lost that, we were in still good shape. But it would have been a long.
The guys
battle.
were so much younger.
We were young.
They had so many guys that we've already mentioned that had cup experience, of course. And there you go, the first goal.
There we go.
The turnover. Waters in his own zone turns it over. And DiPietro scores.
Well, Paulie.
No. Who is Paulie DiPietro? Right? And I know you can think the same thing, right, Jeff? Because let's face it, the guys in the team, besides Roy, Muller, a few others, etc., you're thinking to yourself, who are these guys?
Well, at the time, I mean, a lot of these guys weren't household names, but when it came to the playoffs, they really gelled as a team, and a lot of the fans, and I think the Montreal fan base weren't concerned about specific stars on the team, but a lot of the guys made good names for themselves because they really showed, how talented and how gritty they were. Especially Paul DiPietro, he scored 2 goals in Game 5. Then he went off to play in Europe afterwards. But
I think that's a good example of that goal right there. There's Paulie, 7 goals. He was a high-scoring junior player, put in the right role with a hockey team. You got John LeClaire there that obviously became a great superstar, was just coming into his own. And you have Gary Leeman making a play where a former 50-goal scorer in Toronto. So I think we had a lot of guys that were either coming into their own or, just got put in the right spot. But I think we were a better team than we really got credit for.
Vinny Danfus, 30 seconds after the goal, has his breakaway.
Huge.
You had to give him a hard time after that one.
Yeah, we were like, Vinny, you can miss during the regular season. You can't miss there.
I mean, he was clean. It was like practice.
We had the 1-goal lead, which we wanted to get that first goal, but I'll tell you what, that second goal would have been a nice cushion at this time.
Jeez.
You're still playing with fire with these guys. So, it would have been nice, but Vinny was great through the playoffs.
What was the fans' involvement for you guys, like on the ice and on the bench? Did you guys play harder or grittier, or you feel anything from the stands?
Hey, Kirk, before you answer it, he wants you to give him some pats on the back. He's a fan.
Well, there's one particular guy that really we could hear through the glass than anyone else, but.
And we were talking about him on the bench. He was with his ma.
I can't say enough about how exciting it was. You're in the Stanley Cup Finals in any city, and you're at home. That can't be any better. But in the Forum, with the history and the way the fans were and how hungry they were for this to happen again, we just felt like we were coming into this rink with a 1-goal lead before it even started. We're a very confident team. The fans were so excited that we just you couldn't help but come out with adrenaline, you know, in these circumstances.
1-0, first period. We'll be right. Welcome back to Relive the Magic. Game 5, Montreal Forum. Canadians up 1-0, first period.
It was great how you used to be able to cheat on those face-offs.
What do you mean cheat? don't tell the fans you were cheating.
Well, I have to admit, I was one of the better cheaters on the today it's so much more, stricter and what you got to do. But back then it was whatever you can do to win a draw, just cheat.
What were some of the better moves that one can make to cheat?
Well, you can see in these face-offs, body position. The one skate ahead of the other one. Where today you have to be completely
on that hash line.
Yeah. I mean, your stick can be in the circle more. I mean, it's all body positioning, and you definitely have an advantage where you can't do that anymore.
Did you know that the Montreal Canadiens, when they were playing for the Cup, and the Montreal Forum were 11-1 in their history, up to this game, in clinching games?
Well, I wish I knew that stat before I went in there, where it felt a little better.
A little bit more comfortable, confident. They were just an incredible team that was, they were destined to have a good playoff run. And they weren't one of the favorites going in, especially when they had to play Quebec in the first round. I remember a lot of people were giving them 5 games max, to beat Quebec with one game. When they lost the first 2 games in Quebec, a lot of the guys on the bandwagon were already jumping off. But I mean,
we did not go into the playoffs on a good note.
Well, you had lost 6 or 7 of your last 10.
Yes, we did, and Quebec had an incredible team, and I think like you said, the predictions were Quebec in 4, Quebec in 5, and
then they win the first 2.
Then they win the first 2, and everything was going wrong. But Serge Savard at a meal back at the hotel stood up in front of us and very calmly just say, "Guys, if you continue to play the way you are, you'll win this series." And he just sat down, and no one ever talked about it, but it showed a calmness in everybody, and we went back to Montreal and won the next 4 against Quebec. But to me, that little message and the way he presented it to us was a big reason why we continued to keep going.
You think that Serge Savard may have been in this predicament before sometime in his career, huh?
Yeah, I'd like to ask him these days, like, "Hey, Serge, did you really mean that when you said that? Or because you really convinced me that you did?"
Well, and the thing was, and we keep on talking about it, but it's so important that the Kings had all these guys from Gretzky and Curry and Huddy and Conacher, etc., who had played for the Cup, had won the Cup. At the same time, you had just Roy and Carbonneau who'd actually played for a Cup before. Everyone else hadn't had the experience, and most of the guys were really young.
Yeah, we had a lot of first-time guys in this situation, and so Carbo was a big part of the club. Having been there and with his experience, so he was a true leader for us at that time, and was a guy that also in the dressing room kind of led the way. So we knew what we were up against. We knew we were up against a lot of former Stanley Cup champions. I don't know how many rings in that other room. So we knew we had to bring our best game and play our best hockey in order to beat these guys.
Did the fans in this city expect it? Because you're so used to winning for so many years?
Well, I remember as a kid growing up, it wasn't a question of whether the Canadians were going to win when you went to the Forum to watch a game. It was how much they were going to win by. And I remember when they beat the Islanders and they were on their way to the finals, it was just a matter of, are they going to beat Toronto or are they going to beat LA and win the Cup? And I remember a lot of my friends were actually hoping that they were going to see a Toronto-Montreal series because it had been so long, I mean 30, 40, maybe 50 years since there was a Stanley Cup final between Toronto and Montreal. I wasn't born then. But on the other hand, a lot of people were hoping that Gretzky would come into town and we get to see the Kings.
So it's more 50-50 in the city as far as either Gretzky and the Kings or Toronto and an all-Canadian final.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't think it would have made a difference in regards to the entertainment value or the hype, because if Toronto came into town, it would have been incredible to have all of those Toronto fans and Montreal fans at the same games, especially with the rivalry. But on the other hand, to have Gretzky, now he's on the Kings, and he's got Yari Curry with him, and Kelly Rudy's playing, phenomenal hockey. To have these guys come in and
It would have
make a
been
series of
interesting
it.
with Toronto coming in though, because the last time 2 Canadian teams, I was happy because this is my first time to play, for the Cup, and one of my best friends is Dougie Gilmour, and I thought, well, the last thing you want to do is play against one of your best friends for the Stanley Cup, and we talked about it a few times afterwards. As much as he wanted to be there and I wanted him to be there, he's got his cup in Calgary and I got mine from Montreal, so it worked out okay. But
You're probably thinking at the time, he already won his.
that's right.
I want to go back and look at something quickly here. I want to see something. I want to go back to something you just talked about.
Face-offs.
Yeah.
Face-off.
Kirk cheating again and beating
Watch
McSorley.
this face off. I want to see. Watch
Well,
your
we'll
feet.
see if I.
Well, there's no hash mark there that there is
there's
today in
no
the
hash
rinks.
mark, so.
Watch this.
Up against
yeah,
Gretzky on this
There
one.
you go. Oh, and Gretzky wins though.
It's funny, it looks like he's got a little quicker reflexes than I do.
You're gonna lose a face-off to someone. You might as well lose it to Gretzky, though, right?
Yeah, it's like.
Oh, here he's playing he's playing Gretzky's role here right now behind the net.
I'm just trying to duplicate him. It's not working.
Setting up shop in Gretzky's office.
We're going to go back to what I do best and let him do his style.
Last 10 seconds, end of the first period. You guys had won the last 3 games, scoring the first goal.
We're feeling pretty good right now. We're, the butterflies before the game, we're coming back home. Because it's interesting in the playoffs how quickly things can twist. And in this first period, there's not a lot of opportunities that they've had so far, scoring chances. And that's what we tried to eliminate. And that was the way we played. We waited and then capitalized on our opportunities. And going in 1-0 after the first, we knew Patrick was on again. And we just had to contain them and just try to wear them down now.
Game 5, Montreal Forum, 1993. 1-0 after the first period. Canadians lead. This is Stanley Cup final action. This is what Relive the Magic is all about. Welcome back to Relive the Magic. Second period of Game 5, 1993 Stanley Cup Finals. LA Kings and the Montreal Forum taking on the Canadians. And the second period is full of magical moments, huh, Kirk?
Yeah, a little bit more than the first.
Well, you blocked the shot.
Yeah, we blocked the shot. Yeah, that was the highlight.
He won the face-off. That must have been it.
I cheated more.
How about you guys? How about the in the stands? You're up 1-0. You're thinking, okay,
It was a given. There was no way I felt that they were going to lose this game.
No way.
I mean, Patrick Roy was just, Patrick Roy. He was like a brick wall, and these guys were plugging. I remember in the second period, I was sitting about 10 rows behind the goalie, behind Rudy in the second period. So Patrick Roy in the first and third, and Rudy in the second. And Gretzky's wife, Wayne Gretzky's wife,
Janet.
Yeah, she was sitting about a row or two behind us. And the only time she got up during the whole game was when LA scored. And I remember the fans really started to get on her and started to, razz her. And it was a lot of fun when Montreal put that second goal in and Kirk scored the second goal. It was like, I think, done deal. It was a done deal. I personally, I remember I was an 18-year-old kid. It was just complete adrenaline. I mean, Montreal Forum, Game 5, they're going to win the Cup that night.
The Cup's in the building.
The Cup's in the building, and all you're hoping is just win this one. Don't make us wait another game or two,
And you're also thinking to yourself, geez, Janet Jones Gretzky's here, and I'm with my mom.
Yeah.
How come I can't move 2 rows?
No, I'd gone to a couple of games in the first 2 rounds against Quebec and Buffalo. And I really wasn't supposed to be at this game. My sister was supposed to go, but my mom said, listen, I'm taking the tickets and I'm taking my oldest son. So what was I going to say? No, I'm not going with you. So it was funny because it was the first time I'd ever gone to see a hockey game with my mom. I'd usually always go with my friends or my dad or...
Here's the shots of, look at this.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the stick, the
That's
McSorley stick.
Poor Marty, he took some heat on that, but that guy.
He wasn't the only guy to use an illegal stick.
No,
Let's
you
face
know
it.
what? I mean, and that's the thing
It was the
about
most
it.
obvious, though.
There was a lot of guys out there, including myself, because I'm done now, so it doesn't matter, had illegal sticks at that time. So, that guy, I played junior against him, and he earned, again, I'm talking about Mike Keane. Well, there's a guy that worked and worked and worked from junior on to get where he got, and did it the tough way with fighting and playing hard and worked on his skills. And so, he was quite a guy to have on any team.
He's one of those guys like so many that you came across in your years in the NHL that come from the small towns of 500, 1,000 guys, and that's just it.
Tough.
Here it is.
Really tough brothers.
And there he is, Marty McSorley with the shot.
That was it.
Both posts and in. I mean, talk about McSorley.
Yeah, he had everyone. He was obviously a physical player and all that. He was like Lyle Oline to us. Both guys were defense, tough, but had much more skill than people really thought they had. And there's a perfect example. Marty, I mean, we were always worried about him because he had no fear. He'd jump up the play all the time. We're like, wait a minute.
Well, here he is.
There's four guys up.
And here he is jumping up.
There's.
How did Patrick miss that? There was nobody in front of him because
Looks like
Patrick
it was
was in such a
deflected.
zone.
Yeah, you
Might
know
have
what I
been
mean.
deflected off a Brisebois
Look at that.
or off the back checker.
You're not going to beat Patrick too many times
Right.
on a shot.
Well, Marty's the kind of guy, though, who kind of lived and died with him. Because either he'd jump in the play and do something, or he'd
Wow.
get caught.
That's right. And that's what we were trying to do during this series, is try to catch their D and be aware of who's out there and who's playing back. But like you said earlier, a lot of their defensemen on their team were rushing, great skating defense. And very similar to our team. We used to do skating drills, and we hated as forwards if we had to compete against the D because they outskated us on every drill,
Yeah, because
which
you-
was unusual. Like,
Right. And most teams.
yeah, but we had a great skating defense core back there that, blew us forwards away.
Well, you discussed the defenseman on LA. You got McSorley and Huddy, of course, who've been around for a while, but then you go Blake, Sidor, Zhitnik.
Yeah.
These guys could flat out fly.
They could skate. So, we really had to try to take advantage of it because we weren't really going to contain them because they were going to go no matter what. That was the system out west, and we had to be aware of it.
1-1, what are you guys thinking all of a sudden? They're back in this.
Well, we figured that they're gonna start coming at us. You can see that they're starting to get a little bit of their wind. They're getting the legs going. And again, but we were a real calm, steady team. There was really not a panic. It was like, we're doing our system right now. We're playing the way we want to play. Just stay with it. As long as the game stays close, we're happy.
We're good till OT.
We're good till OT. yeah, we're just kind of.
We're biding our time because if OT comes around.
But it's the one thing when we're playing is that you had to have confidence in each other. Otherwise, the system doesn't work. And that's sort of like what we had out here at this time. Is just don't change anything. Just keep playing.
What's happening on the bench between all of you guys during the play or oh, he scored there.
Hold on, we gotta
There's
rewind
Kirk's
this.
goal.
I think you scored.
Of course, it was right in the slot. Well, two
Not
2
far.
feet away from the net.
Well, the thing he has one shoulder. You can't go much beyond the
Yeah.
goal crease.
Vinny Damphus made a terrific play there.
Wow,
Put it right on your stick.
What you don't see is Vinny is a great playmaker, but Brian Bellows was battling in front of net. And Brian was the guy that I played a lot with that year, and he took a lot of punishment and abuse around the net to open things up. So we had a nice chemistry with those three guys that we really were able to play strong down low. At that time, Brian and I were almost more power forwards, but today we'd probably be little weak little forwards. So it was like, but at that time, that was our game: play down low, play around the net, and I didn't score too many goals from far out. So
You scored 90% of your goals right there.
I did. That was where I made a living, and it's like my dad always said, you can't score if you're not around the net. So I tried. Fortunately, I got loose for a quick second, and
You didn't know it then. You know it now. That's a cup-clinching goal in the Stanley Cup. Every little kid who's ever played hockey dreams, and they've all done it in their backyard or on their pond. They've won the Stanley Cup with the cup-clinching goal. Kirk Muller, you've actually lived it.
yeah, it was. Wow, it's
Unbelievable.
funny because when I look at it now, to me, this day and this cup was like, and you mentioned it earlier, it was 8 to 9 years of playing and a whole lifetime of that dream of that moment. And so it's not like it's just one game or anything. It's like there was times in my career where I thought that Stanley Cup is so far away, I'm never going to see it. And then you get a little taste of it, and then when it finally happens, I had my whole family there. I had my parents, brothers, sisters, wife, and kids. I mean, they're all right in that corner where it happened. So, you know, it was a real dream come true, basically, is the best way to explain it.
And that goal happened right in front of you, Jeff.
Yeah, I was right in the second period, right behind the net, and I got to tell you, I don't really remember it very well. I'm just
He was
kidding.
looking at Janet Jones the whole time.
Yeah, my head was turned. There was this good-looking blonde.
And on
No.
that, we'll be right back with more Relive the Magic. We are back with Relive the Magic. 2-1 in the second period. Game 5 of the Montreal Forum, 1993. And it's 2-1 because some guy named Kirk Muller blasted one from the slot.
That's what it's going to sound like 20, 30 years from now.
I blasted it. Rudy didn't move.
He didn't even see it.
It went in. That's all that counted.
Did you think again, you know, when you get that 2-1 lead, the kind of hockey you guys were playing, that, okay, we're back on top again, we're okay?
Yeah, the confidence level, again, I got to admit, was at this time was fans were so into it. You know, we're at home. We didn't want to go back to LA and see what was going to happen, especially when they came back with Toronto. So we knew that they still, in their dressing room right now, were saying, listen, we've done it before. We can do it again. So we knew tonight was the night that we wanted to end this all. And in saying that, trust me, we had nothing planned afterwards. we were all raw at this, so we were like, we were only thinking about one thing, and that was the win period by period. And that's how we took it, was period at a time.
Here's your coach. You're saying there's a great story about Jacques Demers before this whole thing began.
Yeah, Jacques had some great quotes that year, but the best was, we're all sitting there, and we're all nervous, and we're all ready to go. And a lot of us hadn't been there. And Jacques comes in and he goes, guys, this is what separates the men from the boys. So let's go, boys. Wow, we thought, you know what?
Did you start laughing?
Oh, God, we broke up. We're like, thanks, Jacques. It was bad news bears. We're like, but it was a class. He was so nervous himself. He hadn't been there. He's trying to be the calm coach, but deep down, he was just a smacking on the gum there himself. So it
broke the tension.
It broke the tension. No, we didn't lose that night.
Right.
But all in all, you know what, Jacques was, he was a great motivator. He was a real great coach. He's a player's coach.
Well, here you're on the faceoff again.
Yeah, see if I can cheat on
Let's see if
him.
you cheat again. That left foot comes up every time. See, Wayne straight away.
Two lefties going up against each other.
Wayne beat you again. I don't
Yeah,
understand
you
this.
know, it's
I want to see the post-game statistics on your faceoff. You weren't cheating well enough.
Wayne was amazing. You know, he'd always come in and act real casual, like he wasn't even interested in taking the face off. Opposed to other guys that come in, they're intense, they get in there, and you think, well, I have him, and then you just give it a quick little, you know, flick of the wrist, and the puck goes back. So he had a very unique way of taking face-offs, but he was effective at it. So,
Was there anyone assigned to shadow him during the playoffs?
well, what we did in this series is we kind of mixed it between Carbo and myself. And, you know, Wayne lugged a lot of ice time, and so we kind of went back between Carbo and myself, interchanging. But the thing about Wayne is that we said is because they bring in the fourth and fifth defenseman, where he's really effective is using everybody on the ice. So we didn't really have one guy. It was more of a balance of saying to the guys, listen, when he's out there, contain, you know, the Blakes, the McSorleys, guys coming in, take away his wingers, and that was more of our philosophy than just having one guy shadowing them.
It's interesting, though, you say that, because whenever I watch this game, either you or Carbo always seem to be in Gretzky's lane.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of, what we wanted to do was he had the puck, we wanted him to dish it quick. So, you know, we wanted the other guys to have the puck on their stick, not Wayne.
Yeah.
You know, because Wayne's the playmaker. I mean, obviously he's a great goal scorer, but we tried to create something where we were taking away, you know, the guys that he uses best and used better than any other player in history as far as, you know, utilizing everybody. So that was our type of thought in playing him, is to go after him and make him dish it away and contain him.
It also seemed that not only Wayne, but I guess if he has the puck in his stick, he's less dangerous, or maybe not because he gets open. But it just seems that what you guys kept on doing was no matter who had it, it was always to the outside. Nothing was coming straight in on Patrick at all. The shots are coming from the boards.
That's right. We wanted to keep them on the outside. They were a fast skating team. You know, they moved the puck well, and they were explosive. But we thought, hey, if they want to play out of the corners, you know, go wide. You know what? You're not going to score on Patrick from out there. I mean, they got the one goal there, but you know, we'd take our odds on that. It's the crash in the net, the second and third shots. That's what we wanted to try to make sure that they didn't create. So I think we did a pretty good job on it as a team.
Well, I'd say so. I mean, you look at some. I mean, you go down just some of the guys on your roster: Gary Lehman, Paul DiPietro, Gilbert Dion. Not Marcel, his younger brother. I mean, I could say Marcel's one thing, but Gilbert Dion, Ed Ronan, Stéphane Lebeau. I mean, Donald Dufresne. I mean, come on.
Just guys that, you know what, they didn't play a lot, but they had a role. You know what, everyone who you know, was on that bench right there had a big part of this team. I mean, Paulie scoring, you know, 5 or 6 goals in the playoffs. Eddie Ronan was just a good, solid player. I mean, everyone was totally committed to this hockey team, and we had a great group of guys. Chemistry was huge, and I think that was the big reason why we really won the cup. Was I think we had the best chemistry that year of anyone.
We'll be right back. We were saying before the break about these different guys on your roster who were just, they epitomized, as you were saying, Jeff, the two-way player, but it's almost as if their name on the back of their jersey didn't mean anything because they were actually playing for the crest on the front. They were just part of this team. And people think about hockey, they don't think about it is the ultimate team sport.
Yeah, it's a great the thing about our sport is, you know what, chemistry and working with everyone together, and that's what we had. You know, is a lot of these guys, you know, they committed themselves to this team, and you know, it's tough when you play this type of a style, and you know, it's a commitment. It's not fun to do, and we had a lot of guys. I mean, Guy Carbonneau was a 100+ point guy in junior. You know, we had Vinny, we had, you know, myself, Brian Bellows. All high-scoring offensive guys, but you know, we committed a bit to this style because we thought it would win, and I think it started with Pat Burns. When I came to Montreal, he had taught these guys a lot about defense from the first star guy in the team to the 20th. And when I joined Montreal, I was like, wow, everyone on this bench knows how to play both ways, and if you didn't play.
Well, it's also because the history of the franchise was a Flying Frenchman.
Right.
And they weren't a team that played a lot of defense. They didn't have to play defense.
No. You know, they
were so good.
It's, you know, we're all hockey fans by heart, and we all want to see excitement, and I think that's the key. And I think that's what you want to do. But when you get down to the nitty-gritty like this, I mean, we still scored our share of goals. I mean, we got kind of labeled like this defensive team because we had one heck of a goalie and we played that style, but we also, you know, put up some pretty good numbers scoring goals as well.
How are you guys shutting down their power play because you did all night long?
We took away the second, third shots as much as we could. We as long as Patrick was set and he knew where the first shot was coming from, you weren't going to beat him. So as long as he's, you know, facing the shot, which you see right there.
And once again, to the outside. Everything's outside.
I mean, the second, third shot, but that's, you know, it's kind of harmless. We go down, we just kind of let Patrick take that one shot, and you know, you're not going to beat him on an average on those.
You don't see a lot of guys today blocking shots like that the way they were doing it back then.
Right. And now we find out.
Well, they shoot harder today.
It's the sticks.
It's the sticks.
Now, as a fan, what we were discussing earlier about the crest and the guys who are on this team that you obviously referred to as two-way players.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's no stars out there.
The only star out there that I think the fans were chanting for, in regards to chanting one guy's name, was Carbonneau. When he was coming down a wing and it was Guy, 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 Guy. But other than, you know, just a chant for the captain of the team.
You're saying the rest of us were has-beens?
Yeah.
I think what you're saying, it was easier to say Guy, 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 as opposed to Kirk.
No, it was too difficult to translate it from English to French.
It just didn't flow off. There you are. You look a lot younger. No, you don't.
You look tired.
I look a little worn out.
It's been a long haul. That's
a long haul.
2 months on the
You know what?
road.
The adrenaline is so fun and exciting, and you're into the whole thing. Like, you don't even know when the playoffs hit what the heck goes on in the rest of the world. It's amazing how much you're tuned in to the playoffs. I couldn't tell you anything else. I mean, you get up, you eat, you practice, you go back, you play hockey, you sit around with the guys, you stay in the hotel. You don't even know anything that exists outside of the hockey. And same thing when you're playing and you go this far, you're having fun, you're excited. You don't really catch up with things about how tired you actually are. But when this game finished and I woke up the next day, that's when I went, oh boy, I'm tired. I'm done.
Me too, especially after that night.
Well, your
I could-
date.
No,
That went on forever, I'm sure.
she went home early, but a couple of my friends and I
dumped
met
you.
up. Yeah, I got dumped for an older man.
This was a gift, by the way. The replay of this penalty, and you see Conacher getting thrown into Patrick. It's like, ooh. But that happens in playoff hockey, doesn't it? It happens all the time.
You definitely get away with a lot more in the playoffs than you do the regular season, and that's what we were saying. Like, you gotta know the ref. You gotta know. Yeah, I mean, you know, Patty's a competitor, and you can see what he's doing. He's trying to crash the net. He's trying to create stuff, and they're saying we got to get to Patrick. We got to get in his face. We got to create things. We got to get him, revved up a little bit. But fortunately, Pat's been there before, and he, I don't know if he's really that hurt right there.
No, he wasn't.
There's Denny Savard on the bench, who we all know how great and exciting he was. And, unfortunately, Denny didn't play this game and dress up, but he was right there, behind the bench for us, supporting us. And we all respected everything that he did. So he was a big, real positive guy to have behind the bench in these last few games.
What did he mean, not only to the team in general, but also, you're in Montreal. You have a French hockey player in Montreal. Now, Jeff, you can speak to this too, because how important was that? How did you guys relate to the French-Canadian hockey player, like a Denis Savard?
I remember when Denis Savard got traded to Montreal for Chris Chelios, and there was a lot of talk about adding scoring to the Montreal Canadiens, as the fans were starting to get restless because we were always a defensive-minded team, and now we were getting someone who was a noted superstar goal-scoring type of hockey player, but we were giving up a young, defensive and strong defenseman. Listen, he came in and won a cup with Denis Savard, and Chris Chelios is still a terrific defenseman.
The cup is in the building. It's Game 5, 93, Stanley Cup Finals. Welcome back to Relive the Magic. We move ahead a bit to the start of the third period because Kirk Muller does nothing else in the second period except lose face-offs to Wayne Gretzky. And he doesn't score again either. I was so upset. Well, you know what the thing was, Kirk? I think you took so much out of yourself with that first shot you scored on.
Yeah, you
That
know what?
blast.
The arms are just dragging right now. They're dragging.
In the first two periods, Wayne Gretzky had no shots on net.
And we were very happy about that. We were, but again,
Obviously, you're conscious of this.
we are, and we're pretty happy about how we're containing, not Wayne, but really the team. We're really preventing that second, third shot, like I was saying earlier. But right now, we're like saying, okay, we're in a good position, and everything, but you just can't ever put your guard down on them. So, or a lot of these guys. I mean, Yeri Curry. I mean, Robitaille. I mean, they had some firepower over there, and we just had to keep containing them.
Yeah, there's a point, different power plays that you guys had. And of course, it's different now with Johnny Leclerc, but in those days, you wouldn't think it when your power plays Leclerc, Keane, and LeBeau. You don't think of power play when you think of those three guys at this time. I mean, this is something about the team that you guys were.
Like I say, everyone had their, a role on the team, and it was everyone felt like they were a part of it, and rightly so. I mean, that's what it was all about. So, yeah, it wasn't all household names. It wasn't like the old Oilers that we had earlier.
Who were playing against you?
Yes, yeah, no pun intended there.
I mean, half these guys. So what are you thinking now? You're in the third period, Jeff. I mean,
I just don't want to be seen with my mom at this point.
there she is.
Oh,
Now let's- you're right below her, right?
That's not me waving, though.
Okay, let's pan back. Is that you? Right there in the glasses and the bald head?
No. I was actually, I think, one row in front of these gentlemen.
We just missed the top of your head.
Yeah, thank God.
So you can deny the fact that you were with your mom.
Yeah, there's no proof. At this point, I was just, really anxious to find out who's going to score the next goal. I was really, on the edge of my seat. Every time there was a major body check, you'd move to your left, you'd move to your right, and you'd hit the person sitting next to you, or you'd be yelling, shoot. And by the time you know it, the time was ticking down, and there was only a few minutes left to go in the third period. At this time, this was just the beginning, but it felt as if, the night had just started. The clock wasn't ticking fast enough, and the energy in the building was just phenomenal. It was so loud. I remember it was really
Kirk,
loud.
You hear a fan say this. As a player, the clock isn't ticking fast enough for you either.
No, it's not. I mean,
I mean, come on, you're a period away.
you're so caught up in it, though. You really don't think of at this moment, right now. You're just focused on playing. I'm not thinking about the Stanley Cup or anything like that yet. Or it's really, just shift by shift, and you got to stay focused. Otherwise, very quickly on a high-scoring team, they can put you in trouble. So we're not really looking ahead at all at this time.
Was there any pressure? There's always pressure in Montreal. Was there pressure also from Canada to get the cup back to this country?
Well, I think there's probably a few Hab fans, or Hab haters, I should say, that were probably rooting for us at this time, which they probably didn't want to admit, but deep down, I think, there's still that feeling for Canadians that they want to keep the cup up here. And, of course, LA is, majority of them were Canadians, on the roster, but I think a lot of people really wanted to see the cup stay here.
You see shots during the course of this game of ex-Canadians. They're royalty.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
they're royalty.
We couldn't match what a lot of those guys of the Lafleurs and the Richards have done here in the city. So, but it was like a sense of you have to carry the tradition, and this is our opportunity. They're all there. But one thing that was great is when you walk out on the ice before the game started, the Beliveaus, the Richards, the great players, the Lafleurs, all these guys, they're all right there patting you on the back, and they don't have the attitude of, wow, you know what, we were better, we've done this and this, and you guys haven't done anything close to us, which is true, but they were there in full support. They had the attitude of, hey, we've had our time, this is your time, go out and have fun and good luck. And that's a real fun type of a family atmosphere that they had here.
And is that winning tradition just something that's instilled then because of the locker room? The locker room that they were in?
Well,
you're in?
I don't think any of us wanted to let Rocket Richard down. I mean, he's as intense now, I think, as he was when he played. I mean, interesting story is when I played in the All-Star game in Montreal, they gave me number 9 because Messier had wore 11. And 9 was my old number, and I wore it. And after the game, Rocket said to me, Kirk, you're a Hab. And I said, yeah. And he says, and you wore 9 tonight. And I said, yeah. And he said, don't make it a habit. So I know he's glaring up there somewhere, so I didn't want to let him down.
Now, Maurice Richard, you met him at the game.
Yeah.
You know him. You knew him. Tell me the story.
Not personally. My grandfather, my mom's dad, who worked at an oil company here in Montreal, worked at the same company as Maurice Richard did public relations for. So I heard a lot of stories growing up how my mom would get taken into his office sometime and she would meet him. And that night, during one of the intermissions, it just so happened that he was standing there. So it was an opportunity to finally meet, this legend who, not only had I heard so much about in regards to his hockey career, but, the fact that there was a connection between a family member, and he was just a very, very humble and soft-spoken and gentle man.
So wait a minute, you're in the Montreal Forum with Maurice Richard, and he knows your mom.
Yeah, he didn't recognize her right away, but it was funny because when she introduced herself, that's when he started to remember who she was, and I was just standing there all in awe, and I think that was one of the very first times I really got starstruck. I mean, Maurice Richard. He was the epitome of Montreal professional athlete, and there wasn't the time that you would hear something about Maurice Richard and not want to listen to every aspect of the story. He was an incredible hockey player.
So everyone is everyone. No,
That's your friend from Kingston.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it wasn't him.
No.
The big chain.
Welcome back to Relive the Magic. 3-1 third period. The Montreal Forum is all abuzz. Discussing the Rocket, Richard. I got to get back to this because people are waiting for you and your mom to leave Maurice Richard because obviously, as I said earlier, he's royalty and you've got his undivided attention.
It was, you know what? It was one of those nights as a kid that I'll never forget it. I mean, I'll admit I was a little bit hesitant and embarrassed to be seen with my mom as an 18-year-old guy in school and everything. And I knew a lot of my friends were going to be at the game, but listen, who else would I want to go to a Stanley Cup winning game to get introduced, to Maurice Rocket Richard than someone who could do it, and that was my mom, and it ended up happening for that reason. That's the reason why she's the one who asked me to go to the game, and there's no one else who I would have wanted to go with. I had a great time that night, and Maurice Richard being there and having everyone begging for autographs, for me to just, have someone have a conversation with him happens to be my mother, and I'm getting introduced to this guy while everyone's around me during, I think it was the first or second intermission. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. And then only to have the Canadians win the Stanley Cup and one of my friends on the team, give me the opportunity to see him after the game, and it was a lot of fun. It was incredible.
You had a pretty good date.
Yeah.
Turns out she was okay, and she sat you right near Janet Jones too.
It was all downhill from there. It's all been downhill.
I'm the Rocket. I'm with my mom, but I got Janet behind me, and the Canadians win the cup.
Yeah.
I couldn't get tickets.
You couldn't get in.
I couldn't get tickets.
You were there. Family's outside watching on TV because
that's right.
you had his tickets.
Yeah.
How was that with the family coming from Kingston? I mean, they're there now. You're playing for the cup, but your family's who's been there since you were this big on the ice. They're there with you.
Wow, it was exciting, but and the funny thing is, it's the Ys are the ones that have to do all the other stuff. We talk about us playing hockey. They got to put up with everything else. So they're the ones that, get all the friends and family and take care of them and get everybody organized and run the house and get everything organized with the kids. We just work on hockey. So it's, but it was great. I mean, they've been there since I started. I got great brothers and sisters that support me all, my mother and father, and to have them there was obviously awesome. So it was like, we're all in this together, and it was a blast. So it was a special night.
Speaking of golf,
Greg Stadler.
Yeah.
Greg Stadler back there, big hockey fan.
Yeah, you know what? They were coming out of the woodwork during this series, and of course Wayne was a big reason for that. But it was a lot of fun to see, especially going into LA and seeing a lot of entertainers at the games, along the glass. So it was a real. It really kind of put hockey on the map, I think.
Well, you're playing in the two forums. You got the Montreal Forum, where ex-Montreal Canadian hockey players are royalty, and you have the LA Forum, where entertainers are royalty.
That's right.
You seem to turn it up a notch in this third period as far as you're checking on not only Gretzky, but just anybody and everybody in a black uniform. It seems though you guys rose to the occasion even more.
Well, now we're saying, you know what, give it all. Like, you know what, LA was starting to look like they were starting to tire. We're up, we got the lead. There's no tomorrow. Like drain yourself tonight. Empty the tank, all the sands. So, right now it's amazing when you're winning how much more energy your body has, and it's a mental game. And right now we got the adrenaline and we're just, running with it.
We'll be right back. Game 5, Montreal Forum, 1993. Game 5 at the Forum, it's 3-1. I'm telling you right now, I can feel it now sitting in the room just watching the game. It must have been just crazy in the stands.
Yeah, it was amazing. Now I was actually getting ready to start partying and to start to celebrate.
Give Mom the car keys, tell her to go home.
Oh yeah.
We're going out with Rocket.
You guys are looking very confident. You're about the 10-minute mark, and you got a 2-goal lead.
We're feeling pretty good right now, unless this is where, discipline, we're like, oh, here, it just happens, and we're like, walk away from everything, don't do anything stupid, keep the game simple, and just play hard. So that's kind of our motive right now.
What has Matthew Schneider, your buddy, ever told you about this experience? I mean, besides the fact that he was mad about the dumb penalty early on.
He said it was the greatest hockey moment of his career.
Without a doubt. Huh?
Oh, I mean, win the Stanley Cup to the team that drafted you, and I think it was only Matthew's 3rd or 4th year with the team at the time. I think he started playing with Montreal in 1989 or 1990. So, I mean, 3 years into your NHL career and you've got a Stanley Cup that you won on your home ice against the greatest hockey player of all time. That summer when he had a party at his country house, the Stanley Cup was there, and he invited some of his teammates and family and friends, and I was lucky enough to be there, not with my mom, but with my dad. It was just amazing to see Matthew just having pictures taken of him with the Stanley Cup over his head, and everyone celebrating together. It was incredible. It was incredible.
Now, Kirk, I know you guys can be motivated by the fans, but at this point, this place is rocking. You just saw a shot of the crowds, and everyone is standing in the building.
I think everybody's tasting it right now. I mean, it's, I said earlier, you're just concentrating on playing, which we are, but you can't now start to help. Because of the way the fans all of a sudden are starting to get even more into it, you're seeing, that this could be the final game. So we're just going out and having fun right now, and the confidence is there. We're just playing the game simple.
And even though you're getting tired, of course, and they are getting tired, they're getting desperate. You guys are feeding off the adrenaline of the fans.
We are. I mean, it's like you say. I mean, when you're winning, it's amazing.
So much easier.
It's so much easier. Next goal is crucial. I mean, if we score it, that's pretty much the end of it. If they score, then they're back into it. So we're like, contain, but don't sit on it. Like, just keep going, keep playing, and play in their end as much as we can right now. It's also a lot easier when you're in the situation and you're like, you don't have to take chances. It's an easy game if you really want to make it easy. We just make it hard. That's right.
Well, it's interesting because you guys, this entire game, you were talking about it earlier, they always have a defenseman come up, or quite often one of their guys comes up. You had a lot of 2-on-1s.
Well, and rightly so. I mean, that's the way the game is. I mean, they're down. They have to create something. They got to start taking chances. Again, right there's the one shot. You don't see a second and third.
Right.
We eliminate the guys. But they've got everyone coming into the play now, and we know that, and we're like, just be aware of it. And when they do go, counter, go after them, and see if we can go back at them with 2-on-1s, and that's what happens.
And there's Bruce McNall, the owner of the LA Kings at the time.
Well, big part
Changed things in LA big time as far as hockey is concerned when he brought Gretzky in and the whole bit. I mean, you changed the uniform, you changed the psyche of the team, and all of a sudden, let's face it, you guys and the LA Kings were not who hockey purists said would be playing for the Cup that year.
No. I remember staying in the hotel and watching the Islanders in Pittsburgh, and that's when Pittsburgh had some strong hockey clubs, and obviously in winning the Cups. And when the Islanders knocked off Pittsburgh that year, that was when the doors opened and it said, okay, I think everybody from Toronto to LA to ourselves, everyone then said, hey, you know what, the Cup's up for grabs. And I think that was the turning point of the whole playoffs in is 93 was when Pittsburgh got eliminated.
Yeah, and that guy like Mario Lemieux and Yager.
Yeah, they were now, not a factor in the rest of our plans.
Right,
So
all of a sudden.
and I think everyone then said, hey, this is the moment to go for it. So, and it ended up being a great year for playoffs. And I think that's, a big reason.
There wasn't one dominant team.
There was no dominant team, and everyone said, hey, we all have a crack at it now.
We're getting down to it. Right back. Back in the Forum. back to relive the magic, back to the excitement. How can you control yourself?
Wow, we're starting to kind of give each other a little bit of a nod on the bench right now. We're going, okay, you know what? This is happening. This is happening right now. So,
What's Jacques saying to you guys? Or is he just shutting his mouth?
oh, we tuned Jock out. Jock would kill me if he heard me say that. No, he was. You know what? Actually, you know what? Right now, it's pretty simple in terms of guys are just like, don't change anything. Just keep playing and stay in the game playing. Keep it simple and no penalties.
And you weren't getting any penalties. And you like I was saying earlier, obviously when you're winning, you step up the adrenaline a bit with the fans. And here's another 2-on-1.
Yeah, I mean,
guys
you know what? It's
there it is.
Oh,
2-on-1 because they kept on pinching. They had
yeah.
to.
You know what? We were like, you know what? Give Patrick the one shot. Take away the second, third, and then once we get it, don't sit on it. Let's counter. Let's go after them as much as they're going to come after us. So now it's you know, of course, when you get the lead, it's a little easier.
And I don't think anyone sat for the rest of the game. I think we were all on our feet for the rest of the game. And it was by far the most exciting game I've been to. Not because of the score, not because of the specific action at the game, because I've seen other games, you know, terrific action. But I mean, just everything that was going on that night. I mean, who was in the stands, and the fact that Montreal was back home. They were beating a good hockey team with Wayne Gretzky on it and Yari Curry. That if they were going to win this game, we were going to win the Stanley Cup. And it was my first time ever at a game where the Stanley Cup was going to be awarded, you know, or they had the opportunity to award the Stanley Cup. So for me personally, it was incredible, and I just remember everyone around me. Everyone was friendly to each other. Everyone was best friends with each other.
And were they even nice to Janet,
Oh yeah.
even though she was near you?
I mean, she got booed a little bit when she clapped and she applauded for
Shirley's goal?
for their one goal. But other than that, I think it was a little bit of empathy that people felt. I actually felt bad for Gretzky because, I mean, the guy was incredible. I mean, what he did against Toronto alone in that seventh game, for him to bring this LA team to where it was.
Now, if you can hear this, they're singing in the background, but they're singing it in English to the team from LA.
Well,
Hey,
you know what?
goodbye.
I've come into this rink as an opponent, and I used to hate that song, but I enjoyed it quite a bit, you know, on the, once you play here. But there's nothing worse coming in here as an opponent losing and having the people sing that song at the
He
time.
must have heard that a lot, being number 9 on the Devils all those years too. Eh?
But not number 9 when he came in to play for the Canadiens. You know,
Yeah,
number
that's
9.
right, not again. Well, I think now everyone's feeling it's the you know, the countdown. It's,
How about the story? I mean, because we keep on saying, you know, some of these guys who were role players, they weren't big names in the NHL, and some of them didn't go on much beyond this year. Donald Dufresne.
yeah,
The only game he played was this game.
that's right. Mm-hmm. Well, and that was intentional. I mean, Donald was a big part of the team as far as he was just a solid, steady guy. That was a great guy, and you know, kept quiet. I mean, there's nothing tougher than a player in the playoffs to be with the hockey team and you're not in the lineup. I mean, this is what it's all about, and you're not playing, but you're still got to be a good guy. You got to be positive. You got to skate every day. You know, people don't see that part. You know, as they're called, the Black Aces. I mean, it's not a fun part to go in and you know, get skated hard every day and not get into any hockey games, and then sit there at night and miss out on all the adrenaline. Donald was one of those great guys that just never said boo. You know, and they rewarded him by saying, you know what, we're going to throw you into the final game, and so you can experience it.
And without that game, his name wouldn't be on the cup.
That's right, and that's what the whole thing was all about. I think everyone on that team had their name in the cup, but Don was one of those guys that just, you know, wasn't in that situation. So, you know, that was a nice tribute to Donald, and, you know, a classy thing that the organization did.
Well, the quote is that Jacques says that when he told Donald to be playing, Donald said, "I'll give my life for you."
Wow, I mean, imagine a French guy in Montreal playing for the cup and doesn't know if he's going to get his name on it or if we're going to win. Who knows what could have happened? And that was a nice gesture, and you know, your name's on it forever now.
I'll give my life for you. That lets you know what the Stanley Cup is all about. We'll be right back. Back in the Forum, every day is Christmas when Santa Claus has the cup. Unbelievable. I mean,
He's got to be hot.
he's sweating more than you guys.
Yeah.
This was the middle of June, first week of June, I think.
What did Dougie Gilmour, your good friend from Kingston, say to you before the series, after the series? Because he had won it in Calgary. He didn't get to play against you for it this time, but he must have given you some insights.
You know what? Dougie was on such a great role. He's such a great player, and you know, sitting there, growing up in Kingston, Ontario, in between Toronto and Montreal, and the odds of the captains of, you know, of both teams at that time maybe going for the Stanley Cup, you know, championship. You know, the odds aren't that high, and people in our town were buzzing, you know, saying this is going to be great. And when it all happened, it was a little bit of a letdown. But Dougie and I said, you know, he had his cup. You know, I haven't had mine. He just called me up and said, hey, I wish you luck. I'd love, obviously, to be there, but, you know, not much in terms of advice or anything. He knew we were watching the games and everything, and he just said, you know what, hopefully it works out well for you because there's nothing better. And I just said, well, I'm glad I don't have to go head-to-head with you.
After the Serge Savard little comments in the first series when you're down 0-2 to Quebec, was there a time then after you get by Quebec and Buffalo and the Islanders, is there time in there where you thought, not only are we on a roll, but we can win this thing for real? Or does it never really hit you until the third period when you're up 4-1, and then you say, for real?
I go back to that night even after, like, you know, 3-1 we're up. We're in LA and we're flying back the next day to Montreal, and still there was, you know, we're excited, we're confident, but until we're getting down to this period of time right now, I think this is the first time we're like pretty much confident to say we've done it, you know. But up until right now, I don't think anyone really talked about the cup, you know, about the odds or anything. We just kind of went period by period, whether it was regular season or, regular time or overtime. We never looked ahead because you can't. It's just a tough thing to win.
10 overtime victories, though. It's unfounded.
Yeah, it was just one of those things where people get on a roll, and we certainly got on it, and we got on that train and never looked back.
It was the way they gelled, like what Kirk was saying before, the chemistry between all of those guys, and what Matthew was telling me also after games, saying, you know, yeah, I mean, we don't feel like we're losing. We feel like it's our games to win. So I thought that they were going to win the cup after they beat Quebec.
You can't hear a thing in the Forum.
Oh, it was deadly.
I think coming up here in the last minute or whatever, I get on the ice, and I think it might have been one of my longest shifts in my career, because I kind of just strolled out there, and I thought, you know what? I remember, you know, taking it all in right now, and I thought, you know what? I'm not coming off. I felt like I was
playing shinny hockey
I was like
again.
8 years old. I mean, I get on the ice, and I thought, I'm just going to enjoy this moment and skate around, and so I don't know how long I actually was out there, but it was for a while anyway.
Are you on there yet?
No, I'll be probably coming out.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's got.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so yeah,
Right,
so
right there. He's not coming off.
And we're in the last minute.
last minute.
And you guys you haven't sat down pretty much the whole third period, at least the last 10 minutes.
You know what? I was just going back and forth between the clock and the play, begging the play to just get out of the zone, keep it deep in their zone, let the clock continue going. And I don't know who these guys are, but
At that point, and there it is. It's in the house. When you look at it right now, what do you think? Just right now.
I just think history, you know. As a player, you know, you can never touch it until you win it. It's like that thing a hockey player just does. And I was like, you know what, for the first time, I'm going to actually touch it. So it's kind of, tradition's always been there. And you know, you're like, boy, you know what? No matter what happens, no one's ever gonna, you know, your name's gonna be on that cup forever. So it's you just feel like you're a part of history.
Have you looked at the cup? Obviously, you've seen it since.
Yep.
When you look at it, do you look for your name?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you know, and sometimes I get reading everything else and checking things out, and you know, but lots of times when you're around it, people always want to, you know, check it out with you and kind of go through it all and everything. But you know, I mean, as you see, I'm still on the ice.
He wanted to make sure his name gets on the cup.
Hopefully they recognize me. I'm out here still.
That was the last time the cup was won in the Montreal Forum, and what a feeling.
And that is
That
the
was
last
incredible.
time it was won in the Forum. That's it.
Yeah. No other cups in Montreal Forum since, and
Number 24 in the 100th year of the Stanley Cup. I mean, when you think about that you got that this organization up to that point had won just about a quarter of them.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't seem fair.
It's
and look, Jacques gets the stick.
He outsmarted us all, you know. I mean, it's,
You guys go celebrate. I'm getting Wayne's stick.
yeah, you know. Coach is always thinking ahead. Well, I mean, LA had such a great, you know, run. You know, there's another team that, you know, really played some tough opponents and had a tough path. The travel they had to do, you know, caught up to them, I think, in this finals.
And people don't talk about that often enough. Being in Los Angeles, being in that far out in the Western Conference, you're on planes, you're not on buses like you guys are back here in the Northeast.
Yeah, I mean, we played. You know, you look at you know, Quebec. You know, we easily could have bussed to, you know, New York, Buffalo. We had short little trips. I mean, and you know that stuff all, you know, weighs and wears you down. You know, so. You know, a lot of things kind of, you know, worked out well for us with all those type of things.
And that was a shiny stick just walking by the camera.
Shiny stick is back.
Any surprise in the locker room of the Conn Smythe? I would think not.
No, I mean, you know, there's not a team that has not won the cup without great goaltending. I mean, you might have whatever type of team, you know, offensive, defensive, certain players. But no one's ever done it without a great goalie, and we're blessed to have the best.
And speaking of French Canadians, Luc Robitaille from here, back playing the Forum. I know for him, besides the cup that he ended up winning later in his career with Detroit, that was the biggest moment in his life.
This is like where you just can't hear.
Plane.
He can't hear what he's saying to him.
You can't hear a thing right now. If anyone ever wanted to know what players are thinking right now, you just hope you answer the right question because you can't. It's deafening, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I've done those interviews there post celebration, and literally the guy next to me has no idea what I'm saying to him.
Yeah, you just keep talking hockey because
That's it. I can't believe I won it. Can't believe the dream.
Oh, at this point, I wasn't embarrassed to hug my mom. And who cares who's watching? The Canadians just won the Stanley Cup. It doesn't matter to me anymore. You know what? Now that I'm watching this part of the game, the post party, it's really now rekindling that night. It was amazing.
This is amazing.
great competitor, Patrick.
One of the better ones that you've ever played with, or maybe the best?
I think of him as, you know, being the best, but, you know, certainly played with a lot of other great goalies. And the one thing that I noticed with the great ones is their competitiveness. You know, Patrick was a leader in the room. I mean, he could be vocal at certain times. You know, just a pleasure to play with a guy like that, and to see how much he wanted to win. And, you know, obviously he's a great goalie, but unless you have that other element, you know, you're just another really good goalie.
And does that translate to the team as readily as I would think it would from what you're just saying to me? Because I think back to even Game 3 in this series when he gave the wink to Sundstrom. I'm like, this guy's pretty confident, isn't he?
And there's cockiness, you know. I mean, Patrick, I never worried about Patrick. I never spoke to him the day of a game. Yeah. You know, once it was a game day, I said, you know what, Pat, you're on your own. Similar to a guy like Eddie Belfour, same type of thing. Those guys are in their own zone. They have their own ritual the day of a game. And Patrick, I always remembered that as we're good friends and, you know, did a lot of things together. But game day, I said, Pat, you're in another zone. You know, do whatever you do.
I think he's going to Disney World here on this one.
Well, you can see even against the Conn Smythe, he's still intense. Look at him. He's still.
Well, no one had more pressure on him than Patrick did on this hockey team. I mean, I've seen team go out and win 4 out of 5 games on the road and come back and be on a nice roll, and all of a sudden maybe Pat let a bad goal in. A lot of the pressure was on Patrick with this hockey team, so I think he's really relieved right now.
Yeah. And there's Denny Savard. I mean, it must have been tough for him to be there in a suit.
Oh, I'm sure it was real tough.
I mean,
you know, but he was a big part of the team. He was really optimistic. He was really great behind the bench that game. A lot of people wouldn't took too kindly to that, but he felt like a part of it. He knew, it was a great opportunity to be a part of a winning team, and with the history of his career and how great he was, this kind of tapped off, a great final for him.
And one of the classier things you see is right here with your captain Guy Carbonneau. And where's the cup go to?
Yeah, well, you know what? He was the veteran of the team, so you know what? We're like, Carbo's like, hey, I've done this. This is old hat for me, and
look at that. I mean, that was just class.
You know what? Yeah, and I think that's what it shows. What everyone thought of Savvy. He paid his dues. He was a great player, and we're happy to have him involved with it. Right here, some people ask me why I never took it. Sort of the ritual was the captains, assistants,
right.
Veteran guys, whatever. But my family was in the far corner, and my brother was a photographer, so I thought, you know what? I'll wait till I get down the corner and do it in front of them. So I kind of waited a while and thought, well, Todd, hopefully you get a good shot. But trust me, I'm eager to get it.
Look at you. You're already thinking media before your playing days end.
I thought, you know what? The family, like we said, was a big part of it. So I wanted to my thing is, saying, I want to share it with you.
Jacques Lemaire.
Yeah. Come on, we got to get to the corner now so we can see your family taking pictures of you. There's Kirk. That was a quick shot of Kirk Muller. Must have been in the corner.
Yeah, they were right in the corner.
Was it what you thought it would be after all those years of playing on the pond? I ask every player who's ever won it, the moment when you actually get it the first time and put it over your head.
Just, you know what? It's just hard to. It's like, because it's not like you just did it that day. It was like your whole life, like I said before, in the whole. This is my 8th or 9th year in the league, and I'm like, oh my, I actually did it. And sometimes you just think it's something that you just might not ever experience. Right. And when you actually do it, it's just an amazing feeling.
The shoulder wasn't hurting you at that point?
The shoulder. That was the next day. That was in a couple hours.
The aspirin wasn't wearing off in the ice at that point?
Yeah, the aspirin's just starting to take off now. No, it was just, just a blast.
We'll be right back. Going back to relive the magic. The cup is in the form, and you're in this building.
You know
you're
what?
18 years old.
I hate to say it. There's not going to be another night like that here. I mean, as great as the Montreal teams that we're putting together today, and the atmosphere here in Montreal, and it's a terrific city for hockey. I mean, the Montreal Forum was. It can't be beat. After a night like this, does it get better? I don't know.
There's a shot, Kirk.
Unbelievable.
I know I ran into Mark Messier after this in that summer, and I said to him, Mark, we got talking. I ran into him, and of course he had won his share of cups. I said, it's amazing. I always said to myself, if I could just win it once, that's all I asked for. But after you win it once, you want to win it. Now you want to win it even more than ever because you realize how awesome it is. And that was the most interesting thing for me after I won it, is how much I wanted to win it again.
Can you recall what it meant to you then? Was it everything?
Oh, I mean, at that time, on a personal note, I was in my prime. I was playing in a great Canadian city. We just won the cup. And I just thought, you know what, this is just a fairy tale come true. I mean, life was awesome.
And so many years later now, because your career is over, now what does it mean to you?
I think winning the Cup in Montreal gave me longevity in the league. I think, the winning the Cup, if you look around the league, how many people, in management, continue the careers coming out of the Montreal organization. I think it's something that carries with you, that tradition through your hockey career and through business world, after hockey. I mean, it's a nice honor to win it, but it's also has a special touch to it being in Montreal. So I think it really has carried right through till today.
Jeez, who's that?
That's a hippie.
You got a little bit of the hair going, but not long enough.
Not lying, no. Another series I might have caught Melrose.
No, another season.
I was actually, I did a couple interviews after this, and again, right now I couldn't really hear Ron.
Of course you can.
But
guys like this are yelling too loud.
by the time I got into that dressing room, it was packed. That's one thing I remember. Champagne was going, the families were already in there, the friends were in there, the players were in there. I could barely move, and I was like, this is not the way I kind of pictured it. I mean, where is everybody?
You don't
You're
seem
the kind
tired.
of guy.
You don't seem tired. You got energy.
You're the kind of guy
wow.
media likes. You give a long answer.
Yeah,
Yeah, the answer's still going.
still going.
I mean,
You got it playing, didn't you? That whole time. Look at Ron there. I was like,
Ron's like, I can't hear you anyways. Also,
like,
do you remember any of this, or is it all just a wash?
well, I got caught in the hallway doing a few more things. I haven't made it in yet. I'm like missing all this champagne that Odie's spraying around and everything.
Well, you can relive it right now.
Yeah, you know what? It was just a blast because there was all my teammates that were so close, and my family and friends. Everybody was in there at this time, and I remember sitting up in the stands having a cigar with Mike Keane, and I think it was because there was a riot this night,
Yeah.
and no one was allowed to leave the rink.
And you didn't care about that.
And we didn't care. There was nowhere we wanted to go. The Rocket had to stay. The guys on the team, our family, Don Cherry, Ron McLean, everyone in hockey had to stay in one spot. We had nothing planned, so it was we didn't want to see a riot, of course, but on a
A personal note, you were stuck in the forum.
we were stuck in the forum, and we had a few beers that night. And we had and there was nothing to eat but pizza, and we sat there. And Mike Keane and I walked out and had a cigar in the stands, and I think it was about early hours of the morning. And I remember looking at him and saying, "We did it," and that was just an awesome memory that night, sitting there and thinking, "Oh my God, the dream came true."
And you and Mike Keane get together one more time in Dallas as the grumpy old men next time.
We said, hopefully we can sit up there and have a cigar and enjoy the moment again.
Let me see the ring.
It was everything that year was just fun. I mean, it was the 75th year of the NHL, so they decided to put the Stanley Cup on top as a tribute to the league, and it was just a real special moment. I mean, the ring was a great part of it to have one, but it still doesn't replace having your name on the Stanley Cup.
Forever and ever. And you? Could you speak at this point?
Oh, my ring is not as big as Kirk's, but
But you got a wife out of it instead. on your
yeah,
ring.
yeah.
Yeah,
Put
that's
this
right.
one on me. My best memory of that night was, besides, I guess, being at the game, was when we were leaving the game and just seeing everything that was going on downtown and being a part of, finally, being a part of a Stanley Cup championship team, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
You're there in the forum for the cup. You see Janet. You go with your mom. You meet the Rockets.
Oh yeah.
You're 18 years old. You had a good night.
Yeah, it was. You know what? That whole week was a lot of fun. Being friends with Matthew at that time and enjoying his party and Stanley Cup afterwards. It was a lot of good memories.
Unless you're a player, You got as close to the dream as anybody could get.
Well, I'll see if there's any open tryouts in the next couple of weeks.
Whoa, well, you
Until
know.
that happens, I'm happy with what I have.
One last thing we got here. Before we go,
Well, Jeff, we just wanted to say I can't promise that I can call Bob Gainey up right now and put you into a Montreal Habs jersey, but you know, we had a great group of guys and we had a fun group, but you know, you don't do it without the fans, and fans of Montreal were second to none, and you were one of them, and you know, sharing this moment was a lot of fun and we appreciate it. So
Thank you.
I can give you a jersey, I just can't put you on the ice. So.
Oh, very cool. Thanks. 30 years old now. I get the uniform with the autograph.
yeah, no kidding.
We didn't know your number, but we didn't give you a 9.
Well, that's it for this Relive the Magic. I hope you enjoyed it. Game 5, Montreal Forum 1993, 4-1 victory, and the cup for the 24th time is awarded to these guys, player and a fan. It's all about Montreal, it's all about family here, and they did it again. You know what? That was a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know they had fun being at the game, and we enjoyed it now watching it one more time together. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Relive the Magic.